From Cedarburg to you, it's the Jack Henke Show.
Cedarburg to you, sir.
To you, sir. Yes, and a Cedarburg to you, and a Cedarburg for you, and for you. It's the big show. We do this here Monday through Friday. Many ask why. It's none of their damn business.
Yeah, got a problem with it? Go to another public library radio
That's
station.
right. You go find some other radio station, a library that has a morning show. So there we go.
Have you recovered from yesterday? Or,
just barely. What a nice group last night.
Oh, I wasn't talking about. I don't care about those people. I'm talking about the show yesterday with Patty.
Well, that was a wild one.
That was a gut laugher.
That was a wild one. We had all kinds of larfs and hilarity.
Well, we didn't have larfs and hilarity, but last night you had your second,
but I would call it first just because the first one was really just a dipping of the toe in the water. So this was real.
So it is the Cedarburg Library Authors Circle.
No, I even lost the library part. It's just the Cedarburg Authors Circle. We're that big.
It's a Cedarburg Authors Rectangle, is what it is. I walk into the room last night, and everybody looks at me like, "What are you're late?" I was like, "Yes." No, I'm not. No, I planned for the 18-mile-an-hour drivers. I left early. I have to arrive exactly. I strode in at exactly 6:30 p.m. when I was told was the starting time of the meeting. But what?
You were perfect.
It started at 6.
Well, the first half hour is when we were assailing your character, so it was fine. We spent the first half hour talking about.
I don't think I've ever been a sailing in my life. And I've been on boats. Have you ever sailed?
Not too much. No.
You don't strike me as a sailor. Or no. Are you a swimmer?
In my day I did well, but that day is over.
I was going to say, what day was that?
When I was a kid, I was a damn fish. I was like,
oh yeah,
like Mr. Limpet. Yeah,
me too.
Don Knotts. You know,
excellent.
Yeah, we had a membership to the Two Rivers Family Swim Club, which was a mere 3 blocks away from my house. There weren't club meetings. But it was funny. That was kind of my mom's way of getting rid of us for the summer.
Of course.
Go to the damn pool.
3 blocks. We had to walk to the Cedarburg pool was like a mile and a half from our house, and we had to walk there and back. We usually got dropped off, but we'd be on our own for finding our way back, and you'd be walking slowly, looking around to see if anybody drives by, so you can get a ride from them. But it's a great way to get rid of the kids and have them burn some energy off.
Yeah, big time. Well, yeah, it was actually especially good later on when the hormones are raging and you're like, oh yeah,
just don't wear a tight Speedo.
We actually had at Two Rivers Pool, they had this high dive there, and I don't know. I'm assuming they've dismantled it by now. And they had like 3 pools. They had a kiddie pool. Which I stayed I never left.
Oh my God.
I stayed in until I was, I was terrified. No, I moved on to the regular kind of Olympic lane type of pool like they have in Cedarburg here. And then they had something called the diving pool. And this thing was, this deep cratered out shell, so obviously you don't want it too shallow because one dive is all it takes. But the lifeguards get way too busy if you have a shallow diving pool.
Right.
However, this was but this high dive, and maybe because I was a kid, it seemed really I was like, I'm not going anywhere near there. It seemed Olympian. I didn't think it was a good idea for me to give it a try, so I avoided it. But all my friends did. They were just like, come on, Mr. And I'm like, I'm here. I'll be here. Talking to your girlfriend while you're up on the you're up on the diving board. Can you believe this schmuck? Do you let him get away with it? I wouldn't do this. That's why you should date me. Always had a sales pitch.
Hey, Jackie Green, the Jackie Green of Trivers. A couple things. I sent you last night via text and email some photos for AJ. I don't know if you were able to see them. We'd like to show those during AJ's segment today. They're 2 stills of AJ doing his bit.
Yes. Okay, that's
okay.
All right. Ready.
And then today I sent you one. Do you see the news graphic?
No, I deleted that immediately.
Excellent. It brings up Russ Meyer, is in our fan Russ Meyer received his copy of The Guardian Devil double space taxi question. I said I'm waiting for the first. Who is going to be the first person?
We found him. That's why you win a free bumper sticker of your choice.
If I read between the lines, I should be done in less than an hour.
Your fan base.
Love it. There's things you do, it's the first time through your self-publishing. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. Did we do that? Oh, well, what the hell?
For those not reading this at home, Mr. Russ Meyer wrote, I received my copy of the novel yesterday. Can't wait to read it. So that was nice.
Yes.
And then he cracked it open.
One nice
And he opened it live on air here and said, whoa, wait. Double space text. This is what I paid for. I paid for all this white space. And he finally...
Watch a white space.
If I read between the lines, I should be done in less than an hour. It's between the lines that the real story takes place.
That's right. It's called subtext. I learned that. But one last bit, because we got a lot of shit to cover today. But
no Dr. Kelly today, by the way. I got an email. She is on her way to Arizona.
Oh, good for her, though. Rat.
Well, yeah. She'll see rats. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. We still have Eric. Tomorrow, programming note. Tomorrow, I'm hereby declaring it Movie Friday because I found some movie articles I want to discuss with you. And Dr. Ben is having a hell of a time matching up on Friday. So what we're probably going to have to do with him is pre-record his segments.
Sure, we can do it. That's fine.
So we're talking about that. But
part of Friday off. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Tonight, but let's get back to the peeps at hand. Mr. Bob's underthebridge.org. Drop off is tonight in Grafton on Dakota Drive. Please, from 5 to 7 this evening, please check the donations that they need on Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge. You can see it's just a great organization. All kinds of people, groups go and volunteer. Wonderful. They're doing great things for the homeless. Every Saturday they go to Kosciuszko Park in Milwaukee with trucks full, a trailer full of needs for the homeless. And we collect them up here and divvy them out down there. That's how we do it. So please, Mr. Bob's underthebridge.org. If you can, need bedding and blankets desperately right now. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. Java House, I slogged myself at home today. I couldn't get over there yet, but I still am having the Java House Italian roast ground beautifully. And
look who made it!
Oh, you actually did it! Good boy.
Jamie said we are not stopping today. Just so you know.
Did you see the dog father?
I did. I said, how you doing? He said, aches and pains. And I said, well, that's how we know we're alive.
He said, yeah. In other words, go tell it on the mountain. We got enough problems. Mel's River Run. We know somebody who is going to be a celebrity who's doing kind of all these inspirational speeches all over the country, for God's sakes. He's going to be at the finish line of Mel's River Run on April 15th. So
they shouldn't put him at the end. They should put him at the in the middle so he can catcall out into the river and say, "Come on, pick it up, let's go. You're dogging it." I
think we should put AJ out on a raft in the middle with no paddle. And
well, what are you trying to say here? Take that up with AJ when he gets in.
see if anybody will pick him up or not. But we got huge. So the River Run is April 15th. Please, and you can donate anytime to melscharities.org. We're just about heading into Mel's high season of things coming up.
Yeah,
the summer is a lot of events coming up. Today, you know how many times you've bitched. I never complain, but you bitch about not having the terrible national food days to choose from. True. So today is like a waterfall. We've been overrun, overflooded. It's been like the rain here in Hooterberg. There's so many good food days. The first one, National Burrito Day.
Well, that's big.
It is big. What's the biggest burrito you've ever had?
I think Chipotle is pretty much knocked. They're the ones who really.
I've never been to Chipotle.
We are getting one, I believe. We're on the verge of
one.
Grafton.
Cedarburg?
No, Grafton. Yeah,
Ozaukee County.
Definitely Ozaukee County. Yes. It was interesting in my automobile car dealership days.
God.
The first Chipotle opened up in Hales Corners there, and they would send over big burrito care packages for for our car salesman. You didn't want to be downwind on the lot.
Oh my God. No shit.
Black Bean City.
The oldest historical mention of burrito appears in the Dictionary of Mexicanisms. Do you have the Dictionary of Mexicanisms at the Cedar Public Library?
I think we do. That sounds mildly derogatory.
It was in 1895. Meaning little donkey in Spanish. It's possible the term refers to the packs and bedrolls donkeys once carried. The definition explained that a burrito was a rolled tortilla with meat or other food within. Became popular in Guanajuato and Guerrero before its popularity moved northwards to the U.S. Modern burritos started in, guess what decade modern burritos hit the U.S.? It was in the 20th century.
It is 20th century. All right. First burrito landed on our shores in the 60s.
1930s.
Damn it.
Burritos, the first, but you're a little closer. The first frozen burrito was sold in 1964.
I would get that one right.
Yes, exactly. Name the year, or even I'll give you the decade, that breakfast burritos became popular in the U.S.
Burrito. That's got to be like 1986 or 87.
75. You're 0 for 2.
Wow.
Man, you're really bluesing it.
Well, it just didn't seem like in the 70s that that would be an accepted thing.
although I have to say McDonald's first introduced its breakfast burrito in the late 1980s.
Okay,
so that's the first national.
Yeah, McDonald's. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who dictate the trends.
And speaking of Dr. Ben, here's a health note, I guess.
Yeah,
605 kcal. That's the energy in the average burrito.
That doesn't sound too bad.
No shit. It's also National Caramel Popcorn Day.
Oh, sure, caramel corn.
Yeah,
you call it caramel. You call it caramel popcorn day. Oh yeah, caramel corn.
Caramel corn first arrived on the scene in the 1870s, all thanks to two brothers, Louis and Frederick Ruchheim. The brothers immigrated from Germany and settled in Chicago, where they opened a popcorn store. Yeah. They started experimenting with new toppings and flavors, and a customer tried the caramel popcorn for the first time and he cried out. He didn't just say, he cried out, yes. That's a Cracker Jack!
Oh, boy.
An expression of the time that meant top quality shit. And that's how the name Cracker Jack stuck. How do you like that? It was registered trademark in 1896.
I want to hear the German. Das Cracker Jack!
Dummkopf! Was ist los?
Yes, Major Hochstetter was the... Snake, what is this Cracker Jack?
That sounded like a bad guy from some cartoon.
Yes, well, that's about right. Yeah, cartoonish. They made
Hochstetter. I was thinking of Burkhalter.
Although he was a little subtler, he would just be like, "Oh, Cracker Jack, we'd send you to the Russian front to sell them." he was a little slower, whereas Hochstetter was Hochstetter was Gestapo, so he didn't have time for.
Clink, you idiot! He'd say. Did you know that popcorn was once banned from the movie theaters?
Oh, God.
Yes.
Popcorn prohibition?
Yes. Jesus. Popcorn prohibition. 1949, movie theaters temporarily banned popcorn since it was too loud of a snack.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Only to be drowned out by the idiots with their cell phones now.
That's why you enjoy subtitled movies from Sweden like me. It doesn't matter.
It's also National Carbonara Day. I'm not interested enough. Spaghetti with only 5 ingredients: bacon, cheese, egg, salt, and pepper.
That's what carbonara is?
Yeah.
Well, I've never really had it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's also, this is big, New Beer's Eve. New Beer's Eve is celebrated every April 6th to mark the end of the Prohibition era in the U.S.
Nice.
President FDR called it into Prohibition and declared that there shall be no restrictions on drinking, purchasing, serving, and brewing alcohol.
Major Hochstetter was our president as well. I see.
That was FDR. That was FDR. He's cousins with Hochstetter. Beer is the world's most consumed alcoholic drink, and after water and tea, it is the most consumed beverage, period. How do you like them apples?
Well, of course, Elliot Ness, Kevin Costner had the best line in the movie at the end when they say, Mr. Ness, they've lifted prohibition. What are you going to do? He says, I think I'm going to go have a drink. So, interesting.
Beer can have a strong alcohol content. The beer snake venom. Have you ever heard of snake venom?
No.
Has an alcohol content.
You go blind.
Listen, it has an alcohol content of 67.5%.
God, that's a beer that with that much booze. Is that
that's
what
over
you're saying?
That's over 100 proof.
Jeez.
Yep.
Where do you get it? Where do you get it?
I don't know. We got to look it up. Snake venom.
Right.
Beer can also be healthy. Beer contains minerals, vitamins, fiber, and I even looked it up. Polyphenols. Polyphenols. Yeah.
That's
so let's take that, Dr. Ben. Beer is good for you.
I had the best new beer. Speaking of new beers, I had a good one this week that I picked up from the Leinenkugel family. And it's labeled like a light beer because I just sort of was not in the mood for a heavy beer. So I thought, okay, let me try this. It's like they call it lemon honey light. It's outstanding. It was really, man, it goes down real easy.
I was going to say, it sounds like.
Yeah, 4%, so it's not, you need a couple to, forget your childhood, but it's all
right. Last one, and AJ, we're running late into you, but we'll get to you. Kelly's not here, though. We got
we can drag our feet.
This is the last one is a big one, too. This is it's 5 food things today.
Can't keep up today.
Even bigger than New Beer's Eve. It's National Hostess Twinkie Day.
Which is a great chaser for a beer, I hear.
Marketed as the golden sponge cake with creamy filling.
They're in bad shape these days, man.
The Twinkie was invented in 1930 by James Dewar, who managed the Continental Baking Company in Chicago. Chicago got caramel corn and Twinkies, for God's sake. He got the inspiration for the snack after seeing a billboard in St. Louis for shoes called Twinkle Toes. How can shoes make you think of a
Twinkie cake? Is kind of a shoe-shaped clown shoe.
They were originally filled with banana cream, but it was changed to vanilla cream during World War II as the short supply of bananas became an issue. Let's see. Also, I've read where a strawberry shortage led Dewar to fill his strawberry shortcakes with banana cream instead. So that's kind of shortages caused. It's the mother of invention, right?
That's why you gotta pay attention in algebra, kids.
Twinkies have long been considered a staple in the world of American junk food. In a bizarre case, Dan White killed Mayor George Moscone in Harvey Milk in 1978 and used the infamous Twinkie defense, insisting that eating Twinkies and candy bars had altered his mind, making him temporarily insane and prompting him to shoot the victims.
Oh, Lord.
Twinkies are also known for their long shelf life. The oldest Twinkie that remains fresh was made in 1976. It's still there. It's
still there.
Former President Bill Clinton originally put a Twinkie in the Millennium Time Capsule in 1999, which isn't open until 2100. However, the Twinkie was removed because of fear that mice would eat it. After declaring bankruptcy in 2012, Hostess was purchased by Apollo Global Management in 2013, and Twinkies made a comeback in the market, reprising its role as one of America's favorite snacks.
Kind of a comeback. They're much smaller, a little drier, and
not as much cream, but they're healthy now. Listen to this.
Oh,
That's
the problem.
Someone went on a Twinkies diet. Mark Haub lost 27 pounds on his Twinkies only diet. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can believe it. Actually.
Oh, God.
That's actually him wasting away. See,
yeah.
So,
all right, we got to bring in our superstar.
All right, we need to turn things over to sports and get your brooms out, kids. It's AJ Bocchini with sports. Good day, sir.
Good day, guys.
AJ, how are you?
From here, from there, from here, from everywhere.
What's up, guys? Brunhilde here.
$440 million gets you absolutely nothing in life, so.
Oh.
AJ.
Go back to New York with your. Wow, that was nice.
It was beautiful. My dad sent me a text last night. He said, people have to realize that this is like the golden era of Wisconsin sports. Like,
today. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the Brewers are consistent.
Yeah.
The Bucks are the number 1 seed again.
Yep.
For the 3rd time in 5 years. So.
But we're Midwesterners, and we'll find something to complain about. We'll be like,
Right.
you know that one home run that wasn't very long. That could have been a little longer. You know, the walk-off, I was like, that's not the best walk-offs I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We'll find something to complain about.
Absolutely. All the smoke from the fireworks every time there was a home run. What a bummer that was.
Yeah, right.
Inhaling all of that. Ugh.
Exactly.
There we go.
So did you see this coming, AJ? This powerful surge by the Brewers to start the season?
The Brewers had so much power that my power was out yesterday.
Whoa!
Plunged our sportsman into darkness.
They were running on AJ power.
Yeah.
That's some powerful shit, man.
Let's make it all the way to Mequon.
So I got funny story. I get home from my speech yesterday. I'm like, it's awful dark in here. They're like, yeah, the power's out. So the wind knocked the power out yesterday. So.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
There were some We Energies customers without for some time yesterday. I heard about that. Yes.
The Dogfather, his power, lightning struck his house and knocked out both his cable box and his television.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like knocked out permanently, like fried him.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do. That can happen.
That'll do. But let's talk about some positive stuff.
All right.
Yes.
So we got the Brewers, we got the Bucks, and we got my engagement yesterday. So that was good.
What?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
She said yes. Oh, wrong engagement.
Well, my speaking engagement.
All right. Okay. Well, tell us about it. Tell us about the engagement first stage.
So it's going to be a 3-week project. I delivered the books. I played the video yesterday.
Where was this?
At Concordia, at the Able Lake College in Concordia.
The Concordia University in Mequon.
Yes.
Okay.
At the Able Lake College in Concordia.
Okay.
All the kids had different challenges, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was really cool because they all got books. They're going to read it as a class, and we're going to go. I'm going to go back in next week and the week after as well.
Nice.
Excellent.
Got a few shots here of the event there. Just a couple of so we are there. Give people a mental image of what that's all about. So very cool. And so it's gonna be, you said, a recurring 3-week type thing, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be a recurring 3-week type thing. So it's gonna be awesome.
So you're essentially teaching a class.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
I must spin it that way. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna be a stickler about homework, AJ? You're gonna give the kids a break?
Just read the book. That's all.
There you go.
There you go. How to avoid an incomplete in AJ's class? Just read the dang book.
That was AJ Fonzarelli. Hey, just read the book. That's a Fonz.
So, yeah.
That'll work. Very cool.
So
Excellent.
Yes.
Be good. And then
Good.
what else we got? Nothing sports wise today. Well, I'll pick for both the Bucks and the Brewers today. So.
Whoa. There's a lot going on.
No, I mean nothing Wisconsin wise.
Okay. All right. But we do have. I read some something about the Packers. They say Green Bay with each. This is according to the Athletic. Matt Schneiderman, who covers the team in the Athletic, said in Green Bay, as each day passes, the Packers earn more leverage over the Jets in trade talks. The Jets need Rodgers more than the Packers need to trade Rodgers. His $58 million salary be damned. While both sides would like to get a deal done, don't be surprised if this could go past the draft in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just tired of.
Yep, everybody's tired of it.
I'm tired of listening to. Either trade him or don't trade him. Just don't.
Well, but here's the thing: if you think you're not getting a good value for it, why would you trade him just to trade him? You trade him. You make a trade that's fair for both sides. They're going to be getting a guy who's still one of the top, certainly a top 10, if not top 5 quarterback in the league. You should get some value for that. That's all.
Yeah.
And if he's upset about that, too bad, baby.
So be it.
That's business. Okay. What else? What else do you have, big guy?
So we got. I don't know if you touched on the walk off at all yet. We
Nope.
The walk off yesterday. They were down 6-4. They were up 4-1. Then they were tied at 4. Then they were down 6-4. Pete Alonso, former Madison Mallard.
Really?
Yeah, played for the Mallards in the Northwoods League.
That's cool.
Hit two homers yesterday.
He sure did
against the Brewers. So.
But the Brewers came back.
But the Brewers came back and won, and now they have St. Louis this weekend and Arizona.
Okay. St. Louis is always tough, but before we get to that, I do have. Here's your one red flag or warning or what have you. In all the good things that are happening for the Brewers, one thing that's not so good is Corbin Burns.
Yeah,
what's going on with him? Is it just early season struggles, or something going on, AJ?
I think it's a mental thing. I think that, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
I think the arbitration thing really took a lot out of him.
So, in many ways, it was not a good move by the Brewers. He should just made the guy,
Yeah, right.
He's your number one dog, and now he's pitching like a number 5 or 6 dog right now.
Yeah, right. No, he's gone. Yeah, he's back to 2019, which is not a good.
Right.
Well, you want to keep you don't want him unhappy.
Well, yeah, you want him to think about pitching. That's it. And as long as he's not being unreasonable, and he's has been one of the top 2 or 3 pitchers in all major leagues for the last couple of years.
Although Scherzer had a blip the other night too, so I'm not
Well, Scherzer, going back, he's more of a concern to the Mets because they went back to his last 4 games. The first game of the year this year against the Marlins, he gave up 3 runs. The last time he pitched last year was in the playoffs, and the Phillies torched him for 7 runs or what have you. So
Padres or Phillies?
Padres. You're right. Phillies is the other one. So he's been on kind of a downward deal, but they say his velocity is still there. Yeah. So, all right. Well, so you think this will work? Do you think the more he pitches, he'll pitch out of it, AJ?
I think he'll pitch out of it. I hope he pitches out of it.
Maybe the reverse. If you keep him unhappy, he'll pitch like an animal. He'll just be like, "Damn it!"
Keep his velocity up. It ain't working so far.
No. His breaking ball's not so good, but his fastball's right down the pike.
Yeah, right. Yeah. His fastball playing that's stick ball.
Yeah,
that my parents used to play.
There you go.
What else do you have for sports, AJ?
We got Bucks clinched the number 1 seed.
There's that.
That's pretty damn good.
That's very good.
They clinched the number 1 seed last night by winning. By the way, they didn't
back into it.
One of the best ways to do it, I hear.
What do you think about this talk about Embiid having sewn up the MVP?
Blah 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 blah. He's on the 4th best team in the league right now.
Okay.
The one. I mean, yeah, sure. If you put value on it, if you put valuable on it, if you take them off the team, they don't really have much. But
isn't that the name of the award? Most valuable player.
Yeah, but
so is most.
But it should be best player on best team, shouldn't it?
I don't know. That's not the name of the award.
What's a weird subjective? I mean, how often does that award get doled out to not the best? I mean, is it 50-50? I mean, do we have a over under on that? What is that?
I don't really know. I mean,
I don't
like I don't like how much he's talking about he should win the MVP because his team is really his team is really they're not doing so well.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, he can keep talking about it and focus on it and let the Bucks just go about their business and win the damn thing.
I don't know too many players who have talked their way into an MVP award. Usually they play their way into one, but those who have talked you hire an attorney then and say, let me plead his case. He's a really nice guy.
Let's be real. There's a lot of people ESPN who don't want to see Giannis winning again.
Why not?
Why not?
Because it's more attractive, more beautiful if
more of a story.
If Philly wins it,
because they're a bigger market.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, I suppose when you put it in those terms, that the Bucks doing anything great is a problem for some portions of sports journalism and the NBA.
They're just jealous that we've been.
Well, absolutely.
That's right. This is the golden age. This is the golden age. They're jealous of the golden age, as your agent says.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of golden age, AJ, we are also in the golden age of sports invention and inventiveness, and I have a new sport for you today.
Oh.
And I'd like you to cover it if you can. I'm not sure how far this is going to go, but this is the earliest days. This is almost the Orville and Wilbur Wright type of thing here. So let me know about this sport here. How you feel about it? There we go. You watch it again. He says, and I quote, "invented a new sport." So there it is. He has like a bowling. That's it. Oh, that's it. Like you could do that.
Like I would do that.
Can you put a washcloth on your head, sit into a lounge chair, and go down a skateboard ramp? Anyway.
My only question is what?
Yes. I'm not sure what the scoring system is on that sport yet. Maybe the judge. It's maybe a judging thing. Like what he did there, that was kind of a 9.3.
I mean, I give him credit for using a skateboard ramp.
Right.
I give him zero credit. That's completely asinine. What's with the washcloth?
I am here. The washcloth. That's his uniform.
No, shirtless, but with a washcloth on your head.
You're going to want naming rights for that washcloth eventually.
No.
You're going to want to put some advertising on there. Henke Incorporated.
Washcloth.
Anyway, I like to be the forefront at the hilt of sports invention.
Is that a sport, AJ? This is your segment.
No. Plain and simple, the answer is no.
It's the earliest days. He's got
to, especially if you're the only one doing it. That's not a sport. There's no.
I'm thinking if maybe 4 or 5 people join him on that ramp with sticks and some kind of ball or puck.
Hit him.
Maybe it'll. He just needs to add another layer, perhaps. So it's okay. Well, I tried.
I have one announcement.
Yes. AJ, you would.
For my friends at Pfizer, I will be at the game tomorrow night.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, that's right.
First time in the arena since I stopped working here. So.
Huh?
What? Who do they play? Age?
Memphis.
Ooh. Are they going to be playing? Does Memphis have something to play for? Yeah, I think so.
Jack.
Yeah. No, I know, but is Morant? I want to know if you'll be able to see. Have you ever seen Morant play up close and personal, AJ?
Close and personal, no.
Okay, cool. Great. Well, that's a great thing.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be good. So
definitely.
Got that tomorrow and got brother's house on Saturday for Easter.
Oh, nice. Easter's on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I should say we're driving to Madison on Saturday.
Oh, nice. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a blast.
Also, one more thing as a wrap, real quick. Greg Gard received his book the other day.
Oh. Well, yeah. If he doesn't respond, he's out. I'm writing a letter to the athletic director. If he doesn't respond to you.
Yeah, Macintosh.
Yes.
An open letter to the editor. Or what?
Sure, we'll play it on the show.
Sure.
He should have been dismissed for his poor sartorial splendor. His choice of clothes that he wears is enough to get him fired. But
his choice of suit, Jack. Is that
yes. If that's enough, he should be fired for that. But since he's sticking around, if he doesn't respond to AJ, no, he's out. That's it.
Yeah, I had tweeted back at Kyle Blackburn, one of the assistant coaches, and I said, if you could get a picture, that'd be good because I can send that out to my publicist. Then
excellent. That'd be great.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Well, AJ, what about you can't go without the Masters is teeing off today.
Oh yes, sir. I will predict something.
Okay.
Jordan
I knew we'd
Spieth-
get something.
Jordan Spieth is going to win.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
How long has it been since he's won a tournament? Like 25 years?
No, he's only 20. He's only 27.
Oh, okay.
Can't-
So,
Well, I don't know why, but a lot of people are picking Tiger, but I don't know why.
because he's won it so many times, that's all. And they love doing it. He's
And they
just
love-
a big name.
Yeah, they love doing it. You realize he's 47 years old?
A punk. Hey, why Jordan Spieth?
I have. I'm not gonna pick Scheffler because everyone's gonna pick Scheffler.
Okay. I get it.
I'm gonna pick Jordan because Jordan's won it before, and I believe that he's gonna get back on track and win it again. So I don't
Okay.
know.
He's an interesting story. He started out for a while there. He was the hottest thing ever, and then he hasn't won since. I was just wondering if you saw something or heard something that his game's going well, that he's going to come back, or you're just picking the dark horse.
I'm just picking the dark horse.
Okay.
Shot in the dark. So
All right. I'm going with the Irishman. You got to go with Rory.
Rory.
He's never won it.
Oh, he's still gonna win it to complete the career Grand Slam. That's right.
Yep. Is the Masters? How do you rank it as the majors? How do you rank the 4 major golf tournaments?
It's top for me.
It's top.
Yeah.
Why?
I like the drive down Magnolia Lane, and I love listening to Jim call 3 major events in 8 days.
Okay.
That man is a legend. Calling 3 major events in 8 days. For those of you who don't know, he calls the NCAA tournament, then he calls the Final Four, then he calls the National Championship game, then he calls the Masters. In that order.
I'd be very hoarse by the end of all that.
I would be too. But he does a great job, and yeah. So
You're better than he is. You're on every day. He takes like days off in between. Screw him.
Right.
Okay.
I appreciate
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest tournament you're going to have is the one where something like this occurs.
Oh no.
When you get, because you got to realize that
Oh.
all a golf course really is ultimately is a gigantic, gigantic litter box. because what happens to this cat, this is
Hey,
Mecca. This is a dream
you
come
gotta
true.
send me that. You gotta send me that link.
I'll do that. So there you
It
go.
looks like our old cat.
That's great. That's awesome.
You have the ultimate golf tournament when the cats show up and start using your sand traps.
That's awesome.
When they sit still like that, that's not a good thing. I have news
Well,
for you.
I suspect he'd already taken care of what he had to do. And then he's waiting for somebody to deliver him a magazine, some reading material.
That's awesome.
So there we are. Anyway, AJ.
Great stuff, guys. Great stuff this morning.
Thank you for popping
Hey,
in today.
congratulations on your speaking and teaching gig.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And it's fun because the girl that I'm teaching for, I didn't realize this. She went to Lutheran High School, which is like
There we go.
Which is like 5 minutes from my house.
Awesome.
Did you say a Lutheran high school?
Yeah, but
Ah,
that's where Decker went to school.
Before we get into a holy war here, we're gonna pull the plug on this segment. Thank you, AJ. Have a fantastic day.
All right, guys.
I will see you tomorrow. AJ McKinney with sports on the Jack Henke Show. Good Lord.
holy war.
Day before it's Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then there's Jack Henke.
You know that.
Hey, I was cracking the matzah last night, baby. Anyway, what we do now on this show is we turn things over. Are you wondering why your internet's running so slow here in Cedarburg? Why your bandwidth is so lousy? Because this guy's taking it all.
He's the usurper. He's the usurper.
Don't pin that on me. That's Spectrum.
Oh, I've heard that before. So anyway, Eric Ebner, Protocol 46 here in town. Superhero to all computers, our own Tron.
All right, Eric, what's going on?
Yes, back to you.
Thanks for stopping by, Eric. It was really great seeing you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good Easter.
Insightful as always.
I love brevity. So last week you were a little harried.
Yeah, it hasn't slowed down. There were two big cybersecurity issues that were talked about over the last week that are definitely worthy of discussing.
Yeah.
One of which a voice over IP, so your internet connected phones.
Yeah.
A company 3CX, they were attacked by what appears to be North Korean threat actors. Supply chain attack. So the actors were able to get into their code base, and a malicious version of their software, their desktop client, which was digitally signed by them, which is one of the security safeguards out there. If you're a legitimate company, you go through a process, you pay some money, and you get essentially a padlock for your software. Or I should say maybe more like a deed, if you would, for your software, that when somebody says, who owns this software, the program holds up the deed and says, I do. So
Gomer.
Gomer and Goober owns that software.
Surprise!
Citizens arrest.
So their software, which is used by over 600,000 companies globally with 12 million daily users, was breached. Essentially, the consensus was if the 3CX software is on customer networks, it needed to be removed, which is a little bit of a problem when you think about it, because if you're didn't purchase a desk phone and you're using the software client, which a lot of people do now, because it saves a ton of money. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We sell that stuff. Now all of a sudden you can't make phone calls.
Yeah,
and it connects back into what's called a PBX, which is the basically
PlayStation.
No, it's the software that runs the phone system for an organization.
It's like an exchange, basically. Yeah.
So you have, if you're going to switch phone providers because of this or something along those lines, I mean, it's not an easy project if you're a larger company. If you're a smaller company, you got to set up some boxes, mailboxes. You got to set up some extensions. Big deal. Maybe you're out an hour or two worth of time. Once it takes about 2 weeks for your numbers to port. So major black eye to the company. But this highlights what is referred to as a supply chain attack. Okay. They sell digital software, not a widget, not meat or eggs or milk, right? However, those supply chains can be attacked just as well. In this case, they got into the code. They messed up the code to actually be malicious to the end user and get data off the end user. Data is king, right? You say, what was it saying? Corn is cash. Well, data is cash now, right?
Right.
That's why a lot of these breaches happen. That's why it's a smash and grab when they get into an organization. Collect as much data. Somewhere out there will pay them something for it. But if you look at any of the other supply chains that exist, let's just talk about the delivery of eggs, because that's been a hot button on everybody's radar. A hostile actor gets into the supply chain, says that millions of eggs are now spoiled and need to be destroyed, or millions of eggs, instead of going to the Walmart super warehouse, they're going to be parked in some abandoned parking lot in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Diverting those supplies, diverting those resources in a malicious way that essentially would cause both damage to the company that makes the eggs and ships the eggs, but also damage to the economy around those eggs, right? And to our pocketbooks as consumers. So
has there been, excuse me, Eric, has there been any attacks like that where it was actually wasn't so much that software was breached. We're talking about faulty information, false information thrown out there into the marketplace that actually can spin the marketplace into the wrong direction. I haven't heard anything like that. But it could happen.
A tweet was done back, I want to say 3 months ago, to one of the major insulin manufacturers, and it was a fraudulent account that was looked like Libby or whoever the big pharmaceutical giant was.
Sure.
And they said, starting tomorrow, our insulin is free. Their stock tanked.
God,
everybody went nuts.
Yeah,
right. And it was a what Twitter refers to as a parody site, right?
Yeah.
Or a parody account. So yeah, there's been that.
Yikes.
If you go back to the attack that happened on the pipeline, the attack that happened with the meat packer, those were targeting the companies and maybe spilled over into the production side of things. But essentially, you can chalk those up to being supply chain attacks.
Yeah.
Now, the most dangerous, you hit on the most dangerous part of a supply chain attack: changing data. The best Dr. Evil, Hydra, whatever you wanna look at,
Smirsh.
Supply chain attack would be one where data is changed. And it's done in a way that no one realizes data's changed. And now an organization that's been working with this data, the correct data, is now working with data that's no longer the correct data.
Right. Add a 0, add a 1, add a comma, whatever. Add a decimal point.
Change the addresses things get shipped to. Change the specifications.
A not so good Pierce Brosnan Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies. The villain was actually trying to control journalism. That was and he was going to basically try to start a war, with faulty headlines and stuff like that. So we're here.
Well, we've been there for a while. If you subscribe to the fake news and the whatnot theories, but yeah.
So how terrified should we be, Eric?
Yeah, there's a lot of pauses.
What's my fear level?
These pauses are not doing us any.
Tell me how white knuckled I should be today. I'd like to have a nice Thursday. Help me out here.
Too bad.
When an attack like this happens, the other people who do stuff like this take notice and they go, "Oh, hey, they were successful.
Cool.
How did they do it?" And of course, in the sense of transparency to both understand how the attack would impact an organization. So if somebody's responding to this, and also for security researchers and security professionals to be able to defend against an attack like this, a lot of details are put out there. So now you have yet another way that hostile actors are able to do things. You have a valid proof of concept that it's been done, and it, just like with other crimes, it emboldens the copycatters to get in there, because just like with sports teams, these people have rivalry between them. When they meet up at their underground techno bar and have cocktails.
You don't think of it, but it's so easy to believe.
Well, the hell with it. Let's just send John Wick into the techno bar and just unload on these people.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, come on. 8.5 minutes, the problem solved.
Well, slow motion though, so
slow motion, yes. Okay, that's a little extreme. Does the punishment fit the crime? I don't know.
I wouldn't. Sending John Wick on somebody, that's some next level stuff.
Well, talking about messing with our eggs, man.
Yeah, I love omelets a lot.
Yes. So, Eric, when this is going on, I mean, is all lost? I mean, what if these big companies, if like the VoIP can have this happen to them? It could happen to anybody. True or false?
The very plain and no questions easy to answer in an analytical world, right?
Okay.
The plain and simple answer is yes, it's true. It can happen to anybody. Okay. But if you were to dust off the sixth domain, I think it's called, the fifth domain, a book that was written years ago about cyber attacks and everything like that. If you go back to the NotPetya attack that perpetrated,
right,
the giant shipping company was taken down hardcore because they didn't do updates. They didn't have certain security things in place, right? Whereas many other companies that had taken the steps to harden themselves, had taken the steps to implement proper security, and not at much of an additional cost. It's just, you got to be able to do these things, right?
Yeah.
Those companies weathered the storm. If a vulnerability exists out there, and Microsoft has had a few that were inside Outlook and whatnot over the past couple months that were pretty scary. If a vulnerability exists and nobody updates their software, nobody takes the time to put on a decent next generation endpoint protection tool, you're a sitting duck.
No.
You're opening the door, you're leaving the door unlocked for somebody to come in or stumble by, and compromise your organization. And time again, when we've worked incident response, or you look at the data after there's been a breach like this, it comes down to something wasn't patched, user error, which there's training, really good training out there.
Yeah.
There wasn't a way to detect what was going on. And again, those are basic tenets. Every time I see somebody that's gotten ransomware, right, I just shake my head, because we've had clients for pushing 7 years now that have never been ransomware. There's been detections, but they've been stopped.
Well, that sets the table then for something we haven't done in a while. And let's talk about what you do over there at Protocol 46. How can, should, and when should people approach you? Well, obviously today, maybe right after the show. I mean,
and what are the steps there? If someone wants to talk to you, is phone call best, email? I mean, do you do in-person appointments? What's the best deal?
Yes. Generally speaking, since the pandemic, we've done a lot of things over Zoom.
Stuff,
It's more convenient for everybody, or Teams actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's more convenient for everybody. It's less of an impact on their day. It's not as high touch, but I don't have a problem meeting face to face with people. But I'll tell you, I do not miss the days when I was back up in the Twin Cities and we were on the east side of town, and most of our clients were on the west side of town for some reason. And you drive 45 minutes through traffic to have an hour meeting. And then, of course, it was towards the end of the day. So now you drive 2 hours back in rush hour traffic. You just
and you're worn out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's much more efficient.
Yeah. But we specialize in what is called the left of the boom. And this goes back to really an understanding of how to deal with improvised explosive devices during the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War. So in the early days, the guys would get blown up by an improvised explosive device, an IED, and they'd send in some forensic people, and they'd pick up the little pieces, and they'd do chemical analysis, and they'd be like, it was a bomb. Oh,
thanks.
It was a large bomb.
Thank you. Very good.
Judging by the 3 pieces of truck that are left behind that are no larger.
Duly noted.
No kidding. And that was not a way to deal with things, because you're dealing with things after the damage is done. There's already the cost in human life and equipment, pulling people off other missions to deal with the aftermath, right? Same is true in business. Okay. If you've been breached, it's going to be more expensive. Not to mention the fact that in the commercial world, there's a loss of reputation that is kind of hard to measure.
A bit irretrievable.
Yeah. And I mean, I know people that to this day will still not shop at Target, not because they're expensive and most of their clothing looks like it's from Little Home on the Prairie or whatever that show was. But
hey, my bonnet just came in yesterday. It looks fantastic.
I don't know what they're doing. Every woman in my life is like, I can't shop at Target anymore. It looks like somewhere between Little House on the Prairie and The Handmaid's Tale. I'm like,
I'm sure that's not intentional.
Anyway, I digress.
But all right, well, I got one more question for you, Eric, regarding that. Who is a good customer for you? If someone says, I'm a 2-person gig, I'm not big enough, they won't. I mean, is there a size? What's your sweet spot?
Yeah.
Who's your if you could describe your perfect client, who would it be?
We have clients that are literally 1 person, and we have clients that are over 500 employees. We have built our solution to be scalable. We have the ability to service the IT side of the house, the cybersecurity side of the house, and the compliance side of the house. And if you're 1 person, the costs are they're going to be a little bit higher for you because you don't have the ability to spread those costs over a workforce, spread those costs over, your cost of goods sold, your overhead, your operating expenses that way. Mm-hmm. But still, we are very, very affordable as it comes into to protecting a small shop. And to go back to your question, when's a good time to call? You're right. It's now. Okay. If you wait until a disaster has happened, you're picking up little pieces alongside the road. And if you're a 1 to 2 person shop, I almost think that it's more important to reach out because you're spread pretty thin. And if you all of a sudden lost, I mean, just look at your bottom line and say, if I lost my top 3 customers, would I survive? If I lost my top 10 customers, would I survive? Right. And in a lot of cases in small business, and the statistics show it, that after a breach, a year or so out, they're not in business anymore.
No.
Our sweet spot, we work with a lot of clients that are 50, 60, 75, 100 in there. They want to save on the IT support. They want to work with an organization that has more than just a break fix mentality, more than just a reactive way of dealing with things. Our system is designed to be proactive. It's designed to detect both the cybersecurity threats and the hardware operation threats. Hard drives failing. You got a computer that's always bogging down on RAM, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then everything we have integrates into our compliance solution. So instead of having to nug out a bunch of reports and things like that into a system, a lot of this feeds directly into that compliance. So when you go to do your attestation, whether it's PCI, HIPAA, CMMC for the Defense Department people, FDIC.
Yeah.
We even have a module that we use to show what an organization is truly doing as it pertains to cybersecurity insurance. And we have, not to sound like Geico, we have saved money on their cybersecurity insurance because we can show that it's not the minimum standards. What we have as our system operating 24/7 shows that there is a continuous effort for cybersecurity inside the organization. And that's one of the things that when they look at your organization for cybersecurity insurance, they want to see that you have, some sort of advanced antivirus, anti-malware on your computers. They want to see that you're doing this, that you're doing that.
Yeah.
And the more of that they see, especially when it's a documented report like we have, you can look them in the eye and you can say, this is what you want. This is the epitome of the person going into the doctor with a clean bill of health at 80. Yeah. After a life of good living and clean eating,
Absolutely. Well, what you need is the little gecko or the lemur emu or something. That's the next level for you guys, because we got to get you some kind of critter that's that will that's the marketing slam dunk. So it's mentioned Geico. All right, let's get the gecko. I want you guys in the stratosphere.
in the stratosphere.
So there we go.
And take us with you.
Eric at protocol46.com is a good way to reach you, isn't it?
That is correct.
Okay, there we are. For those of you who are requiring his services, and I suspect a lot of you are.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people are requiring his services and don't realize it.
Absolutely.
That's the deal.
Well, and we're coming up on the potential for the R word and recession. And I've weathered through a few of these economic downturns.
Yes.
And I will tell you that a managed service provider that is competent, proactive, and is working as closely as they can to be an integrated team member is a far cheaper, which is a bad thing to say when you're trying to sell something, right?
Not always.
It is the less expensive option for organizations that need to keep running through a time like
a downturn.
Yeah, a downturn.
Absolutely.
And a lot of organizations out there will claim to be cybersecurity experts.
Mm-hmm.
We are cybersecurity experts that are also IT experts.
Yeah.
And that comes from the understanding that to truly understand cybersecurity, you have to be an IT expert. You have to understand how the Microsoft Windows works. You have to understand how the internet works and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's one of the most difficult things I think about getting into cybersecurity is people are like, I'm going to go take a cybersecurity course and I'm going to be a cybersecurity expert eventually. But no, we get a lot of candidates for jobs that, they don't know basic networking. They don't know how Microsoft does authentication. And, those are things that you got to understand those things. So,
cool.
Make sure you partner with somebody who's truly got the expertise and didn't just add the word security to their.
And we have one here on our show, and that's a wonderful thing. So we appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to ask you next week. I'm curious. Do you have if you would entertain some sort of program here at the library sometime, just to pop into our community room and talk about some of that stuff? So it would be cool. That's the international hand sign for a program at the library. So, or I'm trying to bewitch you from over here. You will do a program here at the library.
You're bewitching, all right.
I loved it. It was better than Cats. I want to see it again and again. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Eric. Thank you for popping in.
Do you remember the fiasco when they digitally edited the Cats behinds?
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. That was during the pandemic when that came out. Not only are we in a pandemic, but they added strange parts to the Cats musical movie. And then they took them out, which is even worse.
That was one of the days where I questioned our news and information reporting in our country and in the world, to be honest with you. I question
everything.
The fact if we weren't actually in the simulation and someone's like, oh, hey, let's add.
That's what the kid said. Mommy, how do they poop? Anyway, there we are. Hey, that's a show. We're running overtime today. Eric, go zap some bites and sprites, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, you take care.
Take care. Eric, I'm your Protocol 46. Have yourself a fantastic day. Jack, we'll see you tomorrow for another show.
We shall.
Okay, we can do that.
We'll surely to you.
All right, have a wonderful Wednesday, except it's like Thursday. Bye.